'cause it hurts the environment. Stop deforestation, yeah, it's time for hemp. Whoa, an acre of hemp makes 20 barrels of oil. No need for pesticides to poison all our soil. People got no food, they got no clothes, they got no rent. Well, right now it's time for hemp.
Thank you for taking time for hemp. I'm your host, Casper Leach. You are listening to Time for Hemp on Tumblr, SoundCloud, iTunes, and, of course, iHeartRadio. Make it a point to go to timeforhemp.com and check out all of our broadcasting. We have a lot of hardworking hosts who are dedicated to ending prohibition, broadcasting this message all around the world. It is Tuesday, and on Tuesday, we'd like to salute all the hardworking people up in Canada. I want to say thank you to KDK Distributors for being nice enough to keep us loud, proud, and strong by giving us a grant. And we also want to say thank you to its founder, who happens to be the joint host of the Big Joint broadcast here at Time for Hemp. Good morning, Kelly.
Good morning, Casper. How you doing today?
Pretty groovy. If you keep hearing a couple of beeps in the background, that's Stephen's phone. At first, I thought it was Homeland Security listening in, but no. So if the audience is listening in, occasionally you'll hear a couple of beeps. And we got a joint guest today who's up there in Canada as well. And his name will make you hungry to hear it. His name is Stephen Bacon. Good morning, Stephen.
Well, good morning, Casper. Thanks for having me on here. Really appreciate it.
Pretty groovy having you here. And I'm going to let you and Kelly chat and get acquainted. That way the audience learns about you as he does as well. Take it, Kelly.
How you doing today, Stephen?
I'm freezing. It's cold here.
Yeah. Well, it is minus 14 here and a little bit of snow, but I know you guys are getting it ugly out there, aren't you?
Toronto gets 6 inches of snow. They call in the military.
Excuse me. Oh,
yeah.
Doing well. Well, Harper loves the military, right?
Yeah, you see his ad campaign that's out there trying to stoke up as many new recruits as he can for the war that we're now fighting. It's too bad.
Well, as you know, there was a great program on the CBC here last week, and they did have both political parties represented. Stephen Harper, who said quite proudly that cannabis would never be legalized on his watch. And then they showed Justin Trudeau, who said that he would legalize cannabis if elected. And then they went into their show showing the proliferation of I guess, I don't know if you want to call them dispensaries anymore, because they're just openly selling to the public, basically. And there's more of them now than Starbucks. Not Tim Hortons yet, but there's more shops in Vancouver selling cannabis openly than there are Starbucks, and which is awesome to see. The Vancouver mayor and the Vancouver police have stated that they're going to leave them alone. So the proliferation has been quick, and of course, I'm deprived here. Oh, there's the door. I'm deprived here. We don't have anything going on in Calgary. We don't even have a compassion club helping out any patients. We certainly don't have any vapor lounges, which I'm sure you're familiar with there out east. We don't have any of that here, and that's this is Harper's town, I guess. His riding is here in Calgary, and I expect and I know it's always been bad here. At least you guys have a culture, but I see great things happening. Even the Conservatives are backpedaling a little bit and considering maybe decriminalization. But we got an election coming up in October, and I think we're going to let them know. that if he's not going to legalize cannabis, we don't want him.
I agree with you there. I mean, it's amazing to see what's happening in Vancouver. I saw the same documentary as you're talking about there. They say there's like 50 dispensaries now in Vancouver.
Right.
We have them here in Toronto, vapor lounges, and probably upwards to 10 dispensaries that they leave alone. Although all of them have been usually busted once and then have the charges thrown out in court. But it's sad to see in Canada, like you say, Calgary, Alberta, they got nothing. On the East Coast, the RCMP are really heavy-handed on it on the East Coast too. So there's portions of this country where you can't access good marijuana when you want to. And
even as a legal medicinal patient, it's difficult here in Calgary for them to find quality cannabis.
Yeah. Are you do you have a federal permit?
No, I do not.
Yeah, I have a federal permit. As a matter of fact, I was the first Canadian to acquire what they call the Section 56. I was the first legal Canadian to use and grow medical marijuana, October 5th, 1999. And I still have that permit, although conservative government has killed the program. We got an injunction allowing us to continue to grow until this works its way through the courts. That's coming up this month, and we'll be in the Supreme Court of BC, I do believe. And we're hoping that the courts will see it's unconstitutional to deny us our right to grow our own medicine and force us to buy from the licensed dispensaries that they're now, I believe there's 14 that the Canadian government has licensed and authorized to grow medical marijuana for Canadians. And as I said, hopefully we will win our court case this month, and there's about 2,000 growers with permits here in Canada hoping to win this case this month.
Definitely. It's coming right up. It's a huge decision. How do you feel? Do you have an opinion? I mean, I know which way you want it to go. I'd like to think that they'll continue to allow the patients to grow for themselves. I hope so.
Since its conception, and the sky hasn't fallen in here, you know. I mean, aside from some bad media that we got about, most growers are very small, man. They're just growing less than 25 plants, and it really doesn't present a harm to the safety of our communities, which is what they seem to think. Having marijuana being grown next door to you is going to somehow poison your children with chemicals used, and they got all kinds of bullshit propaganda against it. But I've been growing for 15 years. I'll be damned if I'm going to be forced to pay $10, $15 a gram from. I have my own strains. I got a strain of juicy fruit that I've been growing for 14 years, and I legal or not, I will continue to grow that. But I'd hate to go to jail for growing what I need medically to keep me right. We'll see. We got, as I say, this month in February, like we'll know.
Absolutely. And that, you know the exact date of when that decision's coming in?
No, I don't know which day. And I don't know how long it'll take. The court case starts this month, and I imagine it'll take a month or two before we get a decision.
But we did have a decision this morning from our Supreme Court. Are you aware of it today? What happened?
The assisted suicide, yes.
Yeah, Yahoo! Some common sense. Sorry to get off topic there, but you got on the Supreme Court, and of course I thought about that, and it's one of those things that I believe in. We're humane enough to put our pets to sleep when we know the end is near and they're suffering, and why we don't do it for our grandparents or whatever, I don't get it. So Yahoo! This morning, I don't know, obviously they have some work to do with it or whatever, how they're going to approach it or allow it to happen. But, to me, it's just common sense. I think if you don't want it, of course you don't do it, but you should have that option if you know the end is near, and rather than whittle down to 92 pounds in the hospital and so drugged up you don't recognize anybody, your own children or whatever. I think it's a great thing for certain people.
Here in Oregon, where I'm living, they have the right to die as well. And you're right, it has been helpful for so many people, made it possible for them to leave this life with dignity and not have to endure an extra 17 or 21 or 48 days of just nothing but pain and hallucinations. And so if properly administered, it is a wonderful thing. And I know that I don't know about your country, but here in America, I know that there's a lot of politicians who would benefit from being euthanized.
I wonder if we can get a list going of
Harper would be the top of our list. God, even Obama calls him that. What did he call him? Some kind of an idiot or something. Obama doesn't like him either. He's not a very popular guy around the world anymore. But I was reading something this morning about the Surgeon General in the United States coming forth, saying it's time to change the policy in the United States over medical marijuana.
Yeah, just let me get a new Surgeon General who has a clear thought about marijuana. Then we get a new head of the DEA who thinks that marijuana is bad and that we need to continue to arrest people for it, and that the forfeiture laws are just a wonderful way to take care of crime.
Oh, man.
So we get one politician in office who really has a good thought, and then we get 5 more who have their heads up their ass.
Yeah. It goes nowhere, yeah. Yeah.
I think that's universal.
Oh, is it? Not just our country.
No, I think it's universal that way.
Well, I know the Harper government has been very warm and fuzzy and loving and compassionate in regards to helping the medical marijuana community. Isn't that right?
Yeah. As I stated earlier, cannabis will not be legalized on our watch.
Yeah. Damn.
Well, his watch is coming to a close. I certainly hope. We got young Justin Trudeau, who has taken a lot of flack since he came forward and said he would legalize cannabis under his watch.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, they grieved him up for certain. So, well, they did in the beginning. They gave him a lot of grief in the beginning, but now, like I say, even the conservatives have, took a little bit of a turn and are now maybe going to consider decriminalization, which is a joke. But
Go ahead.
Well, the support that Justin got, I mean, sure, there was a lot of fodder in the beginning, but it come around in his favor, of course, as we all knew it would.
It might look on the surface that, they might say, we better consider decriminalization, but really, they implemented minimum mandatory sentencing, and how do we undo that? How can they say on one side, we might be thinking of lightening up, when on the other side of the coin, they're filling our prisons now with nonviolent cannabis offenders.
Yeah, well, that was his agenda all along. But I mean, the election coming up, they have to say something because they don't want to lose a lot of voters. They really miscalculated that one as to the support the cannabis movement has in Canada.
Yeah, I was just reading about a poor soul that got a year in prison for growing under 50 plants. After the United States failure with minimum mandatories over the last 20 years or however long that's been happening, for us to go ahead and implement it now at this stage of the game.
Well, it depends on what side of the coin you're looking from. From their side of the coin, they're looking at privatizing prisons and needing customers.
Yeah. Apparently they're building privatized prisons as we speak.
Yeah, well, they need customers, and I think the easiest ones to get were the cannabis consumers because there's so many of them, and we're basically harmless, so they can just round us up and collect their cash. The buddies can make money in the prisons, and the government pays for it all, and it's good, according to the conservatives.
That's down a bad road, man. That's taking us down the wrong road.
Yeah, well, like I say, it's gonna come back and bite them. That's for sure. I think they're in trouble, and woohoo! It's an election year. I get to vote. Yay!
Okay.
And you got that attitude. It's about ABCs, right? It's just as easy as ABC.
That's right. I'm gonna have a. Stephen, I'm going to put a big sign on my van here as soon as they announce that they're going to when the election will be, and I'm going to vote. Just put "Please vote." It's ABC, anything but conservative.
Yeah. Well, the NDP, the other party, their platform is decriminalization, I believe.
Yeah, they're sort of on board with this. They actually were a little bit further ahead than most political parties on the cannabis scene, but the Liberals certainly shot way out in front with the notion that they're going to legalize cannabis if elected, which, of course, as I tell people, we have to elect them, and then they have to do what they say they're going to do, which we all know doesn't always happen. And of course, whether they get a majority or a minority government is going to be a huge difference as well. Majority, it's easy. Minority, it's tough. So hard to say, of course, where it's going to go, but I'm sure hoping for a Liberal majority.
Yeah. I'm right there with you. We'll, as a country, we need to get off our asses and vote. That's all we need to do.
Well, this is it. That's the problem because the majority of us are on board with this. The problem is the majority of us don't vote. That's crazy.
Well, one of the things I got to vote for is for the concept of paying my bills. So I vote to do that now. And then we're going to listen to a song about how fantastic marijuana is. Yeah, I said that. Marijuana is fantastic. That's that evil devil weed. Now you just get over it. And then we're going to come back and pick up where we left off here at Time for Hemp.
You are listening to the Time for Hemp Global Broadcasting Network. The only broadcasting network dedicated to ending the global war on drugs on iHeartRadio.
THCF Medical Clinics are the premier physicians clinic in the United States. THCF has offices all across the United States from Hawaii to Michigan. THCF Medical Clinics has helped approximately 150,000 patients obtain their medical marijuana permits to legally possess, grow, and use medical marijuana. If you have chronic pain, multiple sclerosis, or any other neurological degenerative disease, or if you have any gastrointestinal disorders such as GERD, irritable bowel syndrome, or if you have AIDS, cancer, spastic disorders, seizure disorders, or glaucoma, call us at 1-800-723-0188 or visit us online at hemp.org. Again, the number is 1-800-723-0188 and the site is hemp.org.
Rolling.
See what's coming behind, looking like the road's real clear, so I drive at the pace I like, pretty slow to most of you, but very fast to me, you see. I like to walk down the middle line all the time, 'cause that's where I find my peace of mind. Chugging along in the right time. I ain't never looking back. Got to wake, got to shake on the right track. Sucking at my cup of sweet tea, I roll myself some homegrown. This is the way it should be. I'm not waiting on a phone call, lighting up the taste so sweet. Oil my machinery, my notebook I can graciously greet. Thank you to the magic greenery. That's why I lose myself in my land. Some might say I'll be sticking my head in the sand, but I ain't never looking back. You got to wait, got to shake on the right track.
evolve ideas. Evolution did not end with us growing thumbs. You do know that, right? It didn't end there.
You are listening to Time for Hemp all around the world. Tumblr, SoundCloud, iTunes, and, of course, iHeartRadio. We are soon to be expanding into Roku Network and other platforms as well. We have about 40,000 people that follow us on Twitter. You might want to log on and find out why that is. And, of course, you can find a Facebook page and a group and my profile. Golly, we are just all over the Internet. I want to give a big shout-out to Sergeant Richard Johnson. Those of you who don't know who Sergeant Dick Johnson is, he's a member of Homeland Security, and he and his team send me an email 3, sometimes 4 times a week with a personal request that I stop undressing in front of my computer. With that said, we're going to pass this conversation back to Kelly from KDK Distributors. He is nice enough to let people who are in the medical marijuana environment, who are patients who need their medication, he's able to help them get their medication into their system in a very healthy way. Kelly, I'll let you share that.
Yeah, you bet. We have a quality vaporizer that we give away 100% for free to a medical patient somewhere in the world. You can be anywhere. All you have to do to qualify is use cannabis for your ailment, medicinally in however form you may, whatever it may help you with. And the vaporizer is free, and what we intend is for people basically who cannot afford one. So whether it be assisted income, veterans, whatever, pension, and some patients, no doubt, they probably don't even have any income. So these people are the ones we're in search of, because we know they could really benefit from a vaporizer, not only help them consume their cannabis in a much healthier fashion, but it also reduces their consumption because it's more efficient. So it saves them in the pocketbook, which is the main intention, and really helps these people out a ton. So we'd like to hear from you. It's super simple. Again, all you have to do is be a cannabis patient anywhere in the world, and be on an assisted income or no income at all where you can't afford one. All you got to do is send me an email to Kelly, Kelly, at kdkwholesale.ca. Tell us a little bit about yourself, and we'll put your name in, and hopefully we draw you one up, and we actually send it right to your door, 100% for free. So I know that some of you are listening, and those of you who are listening who are not a medical patient on assisted income, you certainly know someone who is and who could benefit from a free vaporizer. So certainly let them know, because we like to hear from them.
And on behalf of the movement, Kelly, thank you so much. It is a very gracious gift that you and your team provide for the medical marijuana movement. And so it's a real true act of love. Now I'll let the two of you get back, you and Stephen Bacon, with your chit-chat. And Stephen Bacon, do you talk about eggs a lot? Oh, I'm sorry. I had to do that. You probably heard that one since you were in the 3rd grade. All right, go ahead.
Aching for the bacon, I like to say.
I didn't mean to pig the conversation. Oh, hog the conversation. Okay, I'll shut up. I'll just smoke my joint and let you guys chat.
We were going to talk a little bit now about us old people as geriatrics and some cannabis use. You had some stories you wanted to share?
Yeah, I got my best story is that I know the best is my mom, who's 82 now, and for Mom is a survivor of cancer stomach. They took her stomach out. Osteoarthritis, osteoporosis. She's really in a bad way medically, but she started taking cannabis orally, little chocolates, about 10, 12 years ago, and then progressed onto cannabis capsules. and in the last two to 3 years, she's learned that it works much better for her if she takes a couple of puffs. So she suffers horribly with what's called restless leg syndrome. She cannot sleep, and your nerves in your leg go off like firecrackers all night. And she found that 2 or 3 tokes before bed, and it alleviates that, and she gets a full night's sleep. And with her stomach gone, she has terrible problems with nausea and vomiting. And she's found incredible relief with cannabis for that as well. And the doctors have been trying all kinds of pharmaceuticals for years, and no benefit. And here she is now, probably healthier than she's been ever at 82 years old. And I know she'd not be with us if it wasn't for cannabis. And it's just, I find it so remarkable how beneficial it is for the geriatrics, because you know as well as I do, the pharmaceutical companies are making fortunes off of pharmaceuticals for geriatric people. I mean, they don't think twice about putting an 85-year-old person on chemotherapy and radiation. It's just, to me, why poison? How could you poison somebody so badly at that stage of their life? And just it saddens me. And when cannabis, when we know now that has the potential to cure diseases like cancer and benefit elderly in diseases like Alzheimer's. And yeah, that's one of my greatest, that's why I'm educating, and I'll continue to educate wherever I go and in whatever way possible. And the more work that people like us do, the more knowledge that's going to be put out there, and more old people will be fronting their doctors and finding a better way to deal with their illnesses.
Absolutely. Use your mother as example. I know that my parents don't use cannabis, but they certainly use a fair amount of pharmaceuticals, and I would like to see them use less, but not everybody is interested, I guess, in pursuing the cannabis for their ailments. But I see it a lot in some of their friends.
They lived through 70 years of some of the worst propaganda. That's a tough one to get over.
Absolutely. They definitely have a different attitude. And yes, it is from the propaganda without question. But even with that being said, they're still open. They're not closed-minded enough to know that, they hear cannabis is a drug. Well, you know what? Drugs help people. And, most of the pharmaceuticals come from, are derivatives of heroin and cocaine and other much harsher stuff. But, of course, when it comes in a pill form and issued by a guy in a white coat and a stethoscope, it seems okay. Which is very, very strange in my mind, but it's it's difficult to deal with the system, how it works. Some of these people just don't get it and are unwilling to try. But those who do and find relief, they're all with us. And those people that aren't, like my parents, that prefer to use pharmaceuticals, they're not against cannabis either. They're intelligent enough to know that all drugs cannabis, cocaine, heroin, all have benefits to medical patients depending on their ailment and the severity of it. So they also support it, even though they don't use it or are interested in trying it for any of the ailments that they have. So, you don't have to be a cannabis user to be a cannabis supporter. Yay,
No,
parents.
Yeah, and hopefully that'll reflect in the election coming up. But, the pharmaceutical companies are making so much money off of geriatric medicine that they lobby awful hard. They lobby long and hard to keep things status quo. It's funny who our enemies are in this. The pharmaceutical companies. Who else? The tobacco and alcohol industries lobbying to keep medical cannabis illegal if they can. Yeah. Those are our enemies in this for sure.
In America,
yes, we have
in America.
One friend, her grandpa's 94 years old, and he's never been sick a day in his life. He uses cannabis edibles. He fell down and fractured his hip a few short months ago, and 94 years old, man. This guy healed in a matter of 2 weeks. He was up and walking around again, and like nothing. You don't generally see 94-year-old people heal that quickly, if ever. But,
in America, we're starting to get a change in our politicians. As you said earlier, our new Surgeon General is starting to say that there is excellent medical benefit to utilizing marijuana. We've got like 18 states that have passed laws to make it so we can have medical or recreational marijuana. We're starting to get politicians that are fighting for us to have the right to grow hemp for hemp products, for paper, fiber, and fuel. So our political ideas are changing at the top level. Now, is that happening there in Canada? I mean, after all, you have the hemp industry, and it's bringing in billions of dollars. So do you have politicians that are waking up and speaking publicly like we have now down here in America?
Not really. Not under this government. We got a dictator, and anybody in his government's are definitely afraid of speaking up against their boss. So no, we don't see much that way. As I said earlier, we got an election coming up, and the Liberal Party has stated they will be going for legalization and control and regulation of cannabis if they're elected. So that's what we're hoping for up here. But,
I think the hemp industry is only limited to the number of farmers that we can, encourage or convince or get them to grow hemp because they can. It is legal, and there's more and more acres every year. So I think it's sort of off the political landscape because you can do it, and as a result, many more acres every year get planted to hemp here in Canada, and I can only see that industry grow or continue to grow because the industrial hemp that we produce is of very high quality and desirable around the world. So I see that industry naturally increasing. Woo-hoo.
Yeah, They've made it difficult for them, though. It's like there's a lot of hoops they got to jump through. They have to purchase their seed from the federal government, which
correct.
It's just expenses in there and regulations in there that make it difficult and make it expensive. But as you say, things are changing, and we could be on the. Canada should be on the forefront of industrial cannabis and its benefits.
We're definitely, I don't know where we fit in the world of producers, but we're definitely producing more and more acres every year. And I like to see it. It's going to, pretty soon there's going to be facilities to create products, more products with this hemp as we get, we just don't have enough acres yet planted where you can, it's financially viable to set something up. But hopefully that comes sooner than later. And we're growing more hemp than we need, and we start producing products with it.
And with that said, we are going to look at some products on the internet. Please go to the timeforhemp.com website. We're doing lots of updates, and let our sponsors know that you heard about them here on the network. And also, we're going to take a little commercial break here so we can pay our bills, and then we're going to come back and pick up where we left off here at Time for Hemp.
You are listening to the Time for Hemp Global Broadcasting Network. The only broadcasting network dedicated to ending the global war on drugs on iHeartRadio.
Serious Seeds is your source for quality cannabis and sativa seeds. Serious Seeds are the creators of legendary strains like AK-47, Bubblegum, Chronic, Cali Mist, and White Russian. The AK-47 is probably the most awarded strain on the planet. The high THC content of AK-47 makes it the perfect medical strain for patients seeking quick pain relief. Cali Mist is an almost pure sativa. Female medical cannabis patients have reported that this strain helps relieve menstrual cramps. Serious Seeds just acquired another Dutch high-quality seed bank, Magus Genetics. From now on, Serious Seeds can offer you even more award-winning strains. The fine folks at Serious Seeds strive to breed the best cannabis genetics that they can find, so patients can rely on the effectiveness of their medicine. Go to SeriousSeeds.com to grow your medicine. That site again is SeriousSeeds.com.
Yes, stay alert, be conscious, be thoughtful, be considerate. You know, that's all we ask, is just be responsible. We don't need to have the government coming into our lives and telling us what to smoke, what medications to take. I can tell you, I know a handful of people in my world who are diabetics, and not one of them has to carry a card that says they take insulin. Not one of them has to tell their bosses that they take insulin. Not one of them has to pee in a cup to show how much insulin they take. In fact, it's a very private matter between them and their doctor. Period. That should be true with medical marijuana. With that said, we come back to our joint conversation with our joint guest and our joint host here in the Big Joint broadcast. Don't forget, anytime you hear the word joint on the Big Joint Show, nearly 2.5 million people all around the world pack their pipes, their bongs, their vaporizers, twist up a joint, and take time for hemp. Gentlemen, I'm surprised that you should say something so god-awful and mean and nasty. You're about to hurt his feelings that you're your leader of your country is a dictator. He seems like a warm love bunny. He's so charming, so nice, so caring.
Looks can be deceiving. Oh my God, what a deceptive man. Yeah, that's what makes a good politician, doesn't it?
I guess so. You know, we've got some good politicians that made a change in Colorado. You've heard about that, right?
Yeah, I think that's just fantastic. And, you know, it's been over a year now, or about a year, and the sky hasn't fallen. The crime rate has actually gone down, and I believe teen use has gone down. I started following the Stanley brothers, 4 or 5 brothers in Colorado that have been growing medical marijuana, and they came up with this strain of high CBD, low THC, very low THC, and it works wonders for epilepsy and specifically childhood epileptic diseases. And they had this one little girl named Charlotte who was seizing like 30 seizures a day and was not expected to live much longer. And they went to Colorado. The Stanley brothers hooked them up with the oil from the Charlotte's Web, and this kid don't seize anymore. I mean, it happened immediately. The seizures stopped. I think she's down to 1 a week or something from 30 a day. And from what I'm reading, there are parents with epileptic children all over the states that are moving, selling their homes and moving to Colorado for the medication they need to keep their children alive. That blows me away that as a parent, I can't imagine having to make those kinds of decisions. But it's amazing, absolutely mind-blowing that you can be on death's doorstep one day and bang the next because of cannabis oil. You have a whole new outlook on life. It's just amazing. That's all I can say about it.
I watched a program on the Charlotte's Web, and I think it was Sanjay Gupta, and or maybe they wasn't involved in that one, but it was amazing to see that girl who was a young little girl who was having a ridiculous amount of seizures. I can't even remember. It was just so phenomenal, the number of seizures, and how cannabis oil basically almost eliminated them from, I don't know, like 100 a week to 1 or 2 a week or something. I mean, what an amazing difference. You would travel halfway around the world for your child in order to make that happen. So I certainly understand why people would be willing to just uproot themselves wherever they may be in the U.S. and move to Colorado for their children's comfort. I mean, it's a crazy difference for that young girl. And what an awesome thing for cannabis, as it's proven to work for some people. There is one at the top of the list of great things that this plant does for the human being. And again, I'd like to say, I'm sure any parent would travel the world to find that level of comfort for their child.
I can't understand how the United States can maintain cannabis under the Schedule 1 with no medical uses and high potential for abuse. And what's that with heroin and cocaine? And how in the world are you going to get ahead of this unless they reschedule that? We won't get any research. These are things that in the face of the evidence that we have for medical applications. To me, the first thing that has to be done in the United States is change that from a Schedule 1 before you could do anything else.
Well, I think we have to do the same thing here in Canada, and we just got to get rid of the ridiculous cannabis laws, of course, and continue to move forward. And it's happening more so in the United States than it is in Canada. But hopefully, with Justin Trudeau in power, well, this time we're talking next year and enjoying or talking about how the government's going to go about the legalization of cannabis in our wonderful country. Things are getting better. Assisted compassionate suicide is now available in Canada, and I guess I'm sure that it's going to take a little bit of time before it filters through exactly how it's going to be run. But it's another step in the right direction of something I like to call common sense. And hopefully cannabis is the next big decision to come out of that courtroom that benefits all Canadians.
Yeah, I'm certainly hoping for outcome. I don't want to be a criminal, looked at as a criminal for growing my own medicine in this country, but...
And not to mention the therapeutic effect. As a grower, you can probably attest to this. The actual mental therapy received from the enjoyment of being able to actually grow your own medicine and have it be effective for your ailment. I think that has always been overlooked, and I do mention it a lot because I think it's big. I see it in a lot of the patients I grow with. The joy and the pleasure received from being the caretaker of their wonderful medicine.
Well, we're down to the last couple of minutes, gentlemen. This gives you a chance to give a shout-out to your favorite URLs, or let people know about any events coming up, or maybe encourage your favorite politician to take advantage of the new euthanasia laws up there in Canada. We'll start with our guest, Stephen.
Well, you know what a really good URL is Granny Stormcrow's compilation of research. It's probably the greatest compilation of medical marijuana research on the planet. It's definitely everybody should check it out. It's Granny Stormcrow. I don't know if that's .com, but you can Google that. And
sorry, that was Granny
Stormcrow. Granny Stormcrow. Google that up, and you will be amazed. Thousands of URLs. She's been compiling this for years and years, and every year she updates it. And through every different kind of disease, there's anecdotal evidence there. Check it out.
Cool. And for you medical patients that could really use a free vaporizer, all you got to do is send me a little note to Kelly, Kelly, at kdkwholesale.ca, and let's get her happening.
And I want to remind people that we are not just a lowly little 1 hour broadcast each day that we were for a handful of years. We are now a 24 hours a day, 7 days a week broadcasting network where you can tune in and get all kinds of fantastic information and listen to some wonderful music about how important it is to take time for hemp.
The money that they spent. Take another look and spend some time. black trees for paper, 'cause it hurts the environment. Stop deforestation, yes, it's time for hemp. Whoa, an acre of hemp makes 20 bales of oil. No need for pesticides to poison all our soil. People got no food, they got no clothes, they got no rent. Well, time for help! Yeah.
You can call me McFly, because I'm back from the future, and I found out without a doubt only yourself can suit you. My suits look just like pajamas, and I be jamming like Marley. I've shared the ganja with the whalers. I'm a stoner, Chris Farley, cause I roll fat ones and pack them with hash. Have sex with your bitch, she's my biggest fan across the land. I'm a handyman because I can. I'm taking care of all the things that you said I can't. The word impossible to me is like a red piece of tape, so I just cut it. You can suck the chrome off my smoking tailpipe. If you're hating, waiting, I'll just use your face for my ass. Why I get high all night, get high all day. I'm high on life, what else can I say? Above the clouds I will stay. You see me floating away. I get high all night, get high all day. Well, I don't mean to be mean and have you think I'm a d***, but there's a big one in my pants and baby he needs a lick. I flick a pick and light a fire underneath my own ass, cause confidence requires accomplishments and tests I must pass. So I will welcome the challenge, and even if it's a wall, like a big bad wolf I'll blow it down and then I'll eat all of y'all. I'm having seconds and thirds and I'ma stay for dessert. My words digest and metabolize you, and that's how it works. So just get in my belly like you were a baby back rib. And I'm a fat and bastard, but I don't need a bib, cause I get high all night, get high all day. I'm high on life, what else can I say? Above the clouds I will stay. You see me floating away. I get high all night, get high all day. Well, I jump the fence with confidence, and it's no coincidence. I don't need fancy clothes to be the coolest fucker in this bitch. So pass the mic and I will do just what I came to do. Hit the bong and sing some songs and rock this party for you. I raised my own bar, set the pace. I lapped the pack and won the race. I celebrate this victory like Superman. Every day I'm free to fly around above the clouds. I like my style like I like my music. Loud, loud, loud. Turn it up loud, loud, loud. I have no competition because this is my mission. So just turn them bright lights on, crank this song and take a listen. I get high all night, get high all day. I'm high on life, what else can I say? Above the clouds I will stay. You see me floating away. I get high all night, get high all day.
You are listening to the Time for Hemp Global Broadcasting Network. Please share us with your friends.